Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Ethereum and its valuation against Bitcoin and speculate on what might happen before we get that major Ether Bitcoin momentum shift, hopefully akin to the one we saw in January. If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So this is our chart. We've been following it forever of the Ether Bitcoin valuation. For those that are new, we said we're generally in this uptrend channel. The green rectangle we've had drawn on the channel for like 18 months. And basically I said this is the Ether Bitcoin reaccumulation phase before we ultimately trend higher, and that we would likely spend an extended period of time in this region. Now this is a logarithmic scale. And we talked about this December capitulation. We anticipated it for months before it happened. But one of the things we can do is we can actually look at this on a linear scale. Okay, because this is a log scale. Let's take a look at it on a linear scale to look at it in a slightly different manner. So we're going to switch over to a different chart. So one of the interesting things about this is it tells a slightly different story and might help us in figuring out where the bottom could be or somewhere close to it. So first, we can generally note that it is increasing fairly systematically as it continues along the way. We can also look to see from the bottom end what it's been doing over the last several months, and note that apart from this December capitulation, we've more or less been riding this line. Okay, just basically right on top of this line is ultimately where the valuation of Ether against Bitcoin has been bottoming out, again, except for the capitulation in December. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And the reason why I think this is interesting is because, it's sort of expanding as it goes, right? We're at the top, and then after going to the top, we go down to the bottom. And then we go back up to the top, and then back down to the bottom, back up to the top. And then this one, we came to the bottom and then ultimately capitulated below it in December. And then we subsequently went back up to the top and now potentially back down to the bottom. Now, where would the bottom be? Well, I mean, obviously the way you draw lines can be somewhat arbitrary, but to give you an idea, the valuation currently would be actually just below 0.03. Over the next few days, you can see this is increasing to 0.03 or so. So, if Bitcoin were to go back into price discovery mode or something like that, it would not be hard to imagine the Ether Bitcoin valuation continuing to bleed back down some. However, I still wholeheartedly believe that Ethereum's valuation against Bitcoin will recover, and that we're just experiencing the same type of thing that we've experienced in the past. The end of December, a lot of people were somewhat disenfranchised with Ethereum because it had been bleeding against Bitcoin for so long. And we said, you know what, you got to stay focused, because we've seen this many times before. Ethereum can look to be very, very weak. And then at some point, there's a key momentum shift, and then everyone starts saying who bought the dip. So I do believe that between $1,000 to $2,000 for Ethereum is just a simple reaccumulation. It's just simply reaccumulation territory. I do think that Ethereum will break above $2,000 in the not so distant future. I mean, there could be some volatility between now and then, but once it does break decisively above 2K, I think that things will start moving relatively quickly, and that $2,500 Ethereum could be in the cards in the not so distant future. So we know that if Bitcoin goes back into price discovery mode, it could drag Ethereum kicking and screaming above $2,000, which is why I don't think that a $2,000 Ethereum is necessarily anything to get excited about. What I would say is look towards a $2,500 to $3,000 Ethereum. This would be a more realistic reason to get somewhat excited, because it would likely represent a key momentum shift of the Ether Bitcoin valuation and maybe heading back up to the top of this channel. One of the things we talked about on the stream earlier is if you take measured moves from, say, these local tops, this was about 26% over 131 days right here. 27%. The next one from top to top was about 41% over 197 days. Well, actually, let's just take it from when we first touched the top here. It was another 27% over 179 days. And then again, from this point to the next one, it was about 18% over 147 days. So we can see that it's taking maybe between 5 to 6 months or so between tests of this upper band. If we were to look to see where we currently are from the top, we're currently out approximately 40 days. So only about 1.5 months, not even 1.5 months at this point. So if we were to see something similar play out, which it might, I mean, it might not, it might or it might not, of course, then it could still be a little while before we come back up to the top of the band. And remember, I mean, even if we were to make a move, even if we were to come back down here and then make a move, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to go straight up to the top. It could, settle out for a while and then go back up. So this is sort of what I'm looking for, just this general, these concave up patterns more or less that we keep filling in. I don't know how quickly it's going to take to go back up. Maybe it'll take even longer and we do it later in the summer rather than early in the summer. But I would say that I think that where I'm sitting, Ethereum Bitcoin valuation looks like a pretty good deal. It looks like a pretty good deal to me. It's not financial advice, of course. It's not financial advice. But I would somewhat expect it to continue to bleed every single week. I say that, the momentum is likely going to continue taking it down. The problem is you don't know exactly where the bottom is. So, if you don't own Ethereum and you're waiting for an opportunity, I mean, in terms of its Bitcoin valuation, it's getting to a pretty decent opportunity just based off this model. So again, it could even drop below 0.03, and we could still look back at this and say, all right, well, this model still seems like it's holding up relatively well. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember, we also have the premium list. You can find a link to the altcoin season sale in the description below as well. You get access to the weekly reports and videos, the TradingView indicators, the Into the Cryptoverse app, the risk dashboard, the Telegram alerts channel, and more. Make sure you guys check it out before the prices go up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Subscribe, turn on your alerts by clicking the bell icon. I'll see you next time. Bye.